Hi, this is Elderjoseph, and I'd like to tell you about my new 12-page booklet, which you may find handy and useful when discussing with Mormon missionaries and also fellow church members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. It's available to download for free, and the details will be included with the video description. Okay, so we've got 4 subjects: how the Book of Mormon was translated, who are the blacks, and specifically we're talking about the Negroes, Adam is God, and also something that many people may be familiar with, but probably not familiar in the truest sense, Mormon polygamy. Now, the first subject is very important: how the Book of Mormon was translated. Because if any of you have had the good fortune to have discussions with Mormon missionaries, you'll realise that we are taught that Joseph Smith translated using an Urim and Thummim and breastplate, which came in the box, which supposedly came complete with gold plates as well. Now, no missionary has ever been able to explain exactly what went on, simply because he doesn't know himself, or they don't know themselves. There's a church picture here. This is what you usually get in the church ensign magazine, which shows Joseph Smith looking like a scholar, and I suppose that scribe is supposed to be Oliver Cowdery. Now, of course, all this is contradictory anyway, but what's more shocking is the real method that Joseph Smith used to come up with this Book of Mormon was the fact that he actually put his face in a hat. Yes, he put his face in a hat. Inside this hat he had a stone. Now, in Joseph Smith's time, people thought that this was some kind of magical seer stone. He'd used it for treasure digging, purporting to be able to find old silver mines or just hidden gold treasure, and he would charge people for that service. Now, there's no account of him ever finding anything for anybody, but having said that, he seemed to have some kind of cult following for this kind of method or this kind of practice, and so it looks like he used the same confidence trick to persuade people that he'd found some gold in the end, as in gold plates, and on it was the supposed scriptures of ancient prophets who'd lived in America. Well, this is a shocker anyway, because when I showed the missionaries the real way that Joseph Smith translated, they were absolutely stunned. Never would they have suspected anything like this. Simply Joseph Smith putting his head in a hat, and inside the hat was a garden stone. So the stone didn't even have any divine powers or anything. It was a garden stone he'd found in the back of somebody's garden. Well, this is very easily confirmed anyway, because the one of the church, supposed, call themselves apostles, this is Russell M. Nelson, he's given a talk before, and it was published in the Ensign magazine, and he does quote David Whitmere, who's one of the Book of Mormon witnesses, and explains that Joseph Smith would put the seer stone into a hat and put his face in the hat. So no more needs to be said on this. There's loads of other quotes. There's Joseph Smith's wife and a few others that all speak of the same thing. There's some internet links where you can find more about this as well in the booklet. So it's an easy one. There's not much to dispute. The other subject is, who are the blacks, the Negroes? Basically what happened was that black people, or black-skinned people, specifically the Negroes, were denied any temple rights. They were denied the priesthood. They couldn't go to the temple, and effectively couldn't be saved in the highest Mormon celestial kingdom. Now, the idea behind all this is that the Mormon church, or the church prophets at least, have taught that the blacks are the less valiant of the pre-existents. Yes, they believe that we all pre-existed, and depending on our valiancy with respect to siding with Jesus Christ and how strong we were in the faith then, that determines whether we're born into a white skin or a black skin. Now, the idea goes like this: that if you were very valiant, you were a good warrior, committed to the faith, with Jesus Christ in the pre-existence, that you'd be blessed with being born into a white body in a white family, and Mormon, very important, Mormon, this is what they believed and taught, and that if you weren't quite as valiant, you might be lucky and be born white, but not in a Mormon family. And not to be born in a Mormon family would mean possibly poverty as well. They believed that blacks, people born into black skins, were basically deserved to be cursed with that black skin, and deserved to be born into poverty for being less valiant. The Mormons believe that as we believe and obey Mormon doctrine, then we'll be blessed in this life. So there's lots of great quotes here from Brigham Young and other church apostles and so-called prophets, and well, I think it's absolutely embarrassing for them and utterly shocking. And I remember being in the bishop's office, inquiring about this, because I was having real difficulty about this whole teaching of blacks, and especially the fact that the missionaries had taught me that God is a white man with a white skin. I was shocked and horrified. So when I brought some of the matter up with a fellow church member, rather than him deal with it, which is what he led me to believe, that he was going to deal with it, he reported it to the bishop, and I had an appointment with the bishop. And basically, after an hour or two discussion, the bishop just said, "Don't share this information with the black brothers in the church." And so I said, "Yeah, okay, no worries." But I knew myself at the time that I was on the way out of all this nonsense. The other topic is Adam is God. This is a teaching of Brigham Young, that he claimed that God had revealed to him that Adam is God, he's the father of our spirits, and I think he taught this for 30 years. It was a tough doctrine that never got widely accepted, and I don't think polygamy got widely accepted, to be honest. But nevertheless, Brigham Young insisted that God revealed it to him, and I suppose the prophet can never lead the church astray, is what my missionaries taught me. It's not in the programme. Well, Brigham Young certainly led the church astray with his Adam God teaching. So there's loads of quotes again from Journal of Discourses and what have you, and not only him, there's Wilford Woodruff quoting, talking about that Brigham Young had taught, that Adam is God and all the rest of it. Absolute farce, to be honest, but there you go, Mormonism. Okay, then the other one is, this one really put me off the church, Mormon polygamy. And I think the main thing about the Mormon polygamy is how it was practiced secretly by Joseph Smith, and once he got found out, he kind of introduced it to other members, other close associates who we thought he could trust, and they were secretly practicing it. But all the time that the church practiced polygamy, they were actually denying it. And there's a classic quote here at the front. This is Joseph Smith when the church was starting to fragment over polygamy and all the accusations of lying. And here is Joseph Smith saying, "What a thing it is for a man to be accused of committing adultery and having 7 wives, when I can only find one." Anyway, he goes on to say, "I am the same man and as innocent as I was 14 years ago, and I can prove them all perjurers. I labelled with these apostates myself until I was out of all manner of patience." Well, the news is that Joseph Smith had by this time married at least 33 women, including other men's wives. So this is total baloney. The guy's a liar, he's a deceiver. Yes, he's the same man as he was 14 years ago, because he was a big liar then. And that's it. What more can be said? It was total deception. There's fantastic quotes in here. The Doctrine and Covenants 101, section 101, verse 4, is where the church leaders were always quoting to prove to the world that they did not practice polygamy. They were basically quoting a canonized lie. So it's all in here. There it goes. "Inasmuch as this church of Christ has been reproached with the crime of fornication and polygamy, we declare that we believe that one man should have 1 wife and 1 woman. But of course the church leaders totally ignored that and had loads of wives and lied about it. So have fun, download it, be nice to the Mormon missionaries, they're great kids. I mean, I just love the fellow church members, there were some nice people. There was some undesirable fanatics as well, who I think are potentially dangerous, is all I can say. So good luck, and we'll meet again quite soon. And